guys, it's Laura from How to Get Your Shit Together, and in this video I am doing the minimalist tag, where I will be answering 5 questions about my personal experiences with minimalism. What got me started? What is my definition of minimalism? What was the hardest thing for me to declutter? I actually cried and nearly attacked some poor woman at the charity shop when I was dropping the stuff off. How I deal with non-minimalists, and what my top tip is for new minimalists. Let's go! First off, shout outs to Eileen over at Lavendaire. She has a wonderful channel all about self-improvement and life design. I will link her channel below, so go check her out if you're interested in personal development from someone who is a lot more calm and serene than I am. Now obviously, this being a personal perspective, others are going to have different tips and experiences to share, and that is why I am collabing with Chris over at Project Lifecoach and Lyneè Urban. I'm going to be talking about what their channels are about a little later in this video, but here is why I am collabing with them. Minimalism means different things to different people, and I know it can turn a lot of people off, especially when you see someone else who's doing it, but they have completely different circumstances to yours. Maybe they don't have any kids, or they work from home, or they have a lot of disposable income, or they prefer the bare look. A lot of what you see online can seem so far removed from real life, so you look at some of these people and you think, that is crazy, or minimalism would never work for me. I thought that too, but I was wrong. Has been known to happen. So I share my minimalism journey so that hopefully you can see that you don't have to take it to the extremes that some people do. And I'm collabing with Chris and Lyneè to give you a more rounded view, because they are in different geographical locations to me. They are at different stages in their lives. They're both from different backgrounds. They have different living arrangements, etc. I am going to link both of their videos below, so go check those out, and hopefully one of our stories will speak to you and show you that minimalists are normal people too. If you prick us, do we not bleed? So let's jump into the questions. Question 1. What got you started with minimalism? I was sick of being surrounded by shit, is the short answer. Sick of falling over things, not being able to find things, having to crawl over things to get to other things, never having anything I wanted to wear despite having a mountain of clothes. I mean, things were already out of hand when it was just me and my husband, and then Scout came along and disaster. I'm quite a control freak and very independent, so having a baby was already a huge shock to my system, and then you throw postnatal depression into the mix. I was a wreck. I really needed to get a handle on things just to regain some sense of control and autonomy, and just a fucking square inch of floor space, and hopefully the headspace would follow. So when I heard about the KonMari book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, I borrowed it from the library, I read it, and that was it. I was hooked. Haven't looked back. 2. What is your definition of minimalism? Filling your life only with stuff you love. If you love a lot of stuff, so be it. It's not necessarily about surviving on the bare essentials. It's about surviving on the essentials to your happiness. Could I live without my electric blanket? Yeah. Would I be happy to do it? Nope. It is about getting rid of what is cluttering up your life so you can make more room for happiness. I've actually already got a video on what minimalist living means to me, so I will link that below and you can go check that out if you want to hear more. But yeah, it's about intentionally creating and curating a life of happiness. 3. What was the hardest thing for you to let go of, or the hardest area to declutter? My daughter's stuff, particularly her toys. I had no problems making the decision about what to separate out and what to let go of. When it came time to actually part with them, I donated them to a local charity shop, and I had to make several trips back and forth to the car. But during one of the trips, I saw a lady leaving the shop with one of my daughter's toys. Now, in fairness, she did look very happy with herself, but my gut reaction was to snatch it from her. In my head, I was screaming, "No, you can't have that. That belongs to my daughter." It was this split-second gut-wrenching moment, but I somehow managed to stop myself from grabbing it back off her. And then I got back in the car and I cried. And it was probably the first time during the KonMari Method that I actually started to question whether it was the right thing to do. And I tried to, you know, picture all the other kids who would be so delighted with the new toy, and I knew that my daughter already had plenty of stuff and she wouldn't miss them. She was only 2 at the time. But it's very hard to give away something that your baby has touched and played with. There was a lot of emotion attached to it. It was hard. 4. How do you deal with the non-minimalists in your life? With great difficulty. I really try to remember that not so long ago I wasn't a minimalist either. I left my stuff all over the place. I still do. I had way more than I needed, way more than I was ever going to use, way more than I even liked. I kept things just in case. But I try to remember that it doesn't make them bad people. I focus on their good qualities. My husband is the non-minimalist in my life, and my daughter, but she's only 3, so. But he drives me insane. But he is a great father to our daughter. He can be extremely thoughtful. He's a bit of an old romantic on the sly, and he is incredibly talented. Wow, actually tearing up a little bit. He's great. And just like I am very hard to live with in a lot of ways, he is also hard to live with in some ways. But I can't fault him because he doesn't live up to my idea of perfectionism. Same way I don't fault myself, but it is frustrating. It is. 5. What is your top tip for new minimalists? If you haven't already read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, that would be my top tip for you. If you have, I would say take your time with the process. Break it down into smaller sections and areas. Don't go on a mad bender one weekend and just throw everything out. Get used to noticing what makes you happy and what's kind of just hanging around. What clothes you keep skipping over every morning. What mug gets pushed to the back of the cupboard. Start with the things that are reasonably cheap and replaceable, and then work your way up from there. It's a process, you know. You've spent your whole lifetime up until this point acquiring stuff. You can't expect to get rid of it in one fell swoop. And keep the things that speak to you, even if they don't seem to fit into your life, because you may find that you are a completely different person after the process than you were when you started. And that is a wrap. You would not believe how difficult it is to say minimalism and minimalist over and over and over again. Thumbs up if you are ready to cut some crap from your life. As I mentioned, hop on over to Chris and Lyneè's channels. I will have them linked below to get a completely different perspective. I am really interested to see what their advice is for dealing with non-minimalist, and also what their top tips are. On his channel, Chris documents his trials and experiences with trying out different life coach tips. He kind of sets himself up as a guinea pig for these things. He does a lot of unfiltered videos where it's just him kind of chatting about what he got up to that week, the different things that he's trying out, and just sharing his progress. I first came across him because he was doing the KonMari Method too, and I find him so insightful. Every now and again he'll come out with something and I'll think, that's a really interesting way to look at that. I love that he's got that whole different perspective. And I discovered Lyneè when she actually commented on one of my videos saying she was doing the KonMari Method too, and also sharing her progress. So I hopped on over to check out her videos, and she is the sweetest. She is doing exactly what I try to do here. She is sharing real life experiences and struggles and successes. She's just so genuine, you know. She is documenting her journey towards improving the 4 F's. Finances, her family life, her fitness, and her future. She's got a great series that kind of, I think, sums up what she's trying to do and what a lot of us are trying to do. It's called Operation Fix My Life. Love that. So like I said, go check them both out. They are linked below. Or if you want to see more of my journey towards minimalism while I was doing the KonMari Method, I will link the playlist below for you. As usual, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I upload new videos every Thursday to help you live a simpler, happier life. Until next time, gur míle maith agaibh agus feici mé sibh se go luath. Slán!